find it myself, because my Bible is terrible for finding verses. 19 and it was 18. Okay, here we go. We're going to read for 4 verses, I think, here, down through 21. Okay, here we go. Be sure there is no be sure there is no root among you bearing poisonous or bitter fruit. When someone hears the word of this oath, he may bless himself in his mind, thinking, I will have peace, even though I follow my own stubborn heart. We don't know anybody that does that, do we? No. This will lead to the destruction of the well-watered land as well as the dry land. The Lord will not be willing to forgive him. Instead, his anger and jealousy will burn against that person. And every curse, written in this scroll will descend on him. The Lord will blot out his name under heaven and single him out for harm from all the tribes of Israel, according to the curses of the covenant written in the book of the law. Okay. Yeah. That tells you what's going to happen if you disobey. That was one. Okay, so let's go to Judges. All right. Look over. Chapter 18. Uh, 30 and 31. Judges 18, verses 30 and 31. The Danites set up a carved image for themselves. Jonathan, son of Jeshurun, son of Moses, and his sons were priests for the Danite tribe until the time of the exile from the land. So they set up for themselves Micahs? Is that how it's pronounced? Carved images that he made. It was there as long as the house of God was in Shiloh. Now, what this is they set up their own temple in lieu of God's temple. Okay? All right. Why? They didn't want to go into Jerusalem.
They're afraid they're becoming too attached. They're separating themselves as a separate nation.
Right. Now, I'm going to show you one of these. I'm going to show you one of these temples. It's a ruin, but it's a temple. And there's an interesting tie-in to them in the Romans. If you'll remember when we were studying the churches, the Romans had a blood ceremony, and I'll explain that again to you. But that came from the northern empire, the northern tribes, Antioch, up in the Antioch area, and they had, if you remember, Jezebel, who was the daughter of a Persian king, who infiltrated the religion into the Hebrews. Very, very, if you read that over and over, it's one of the largest lessons that God shows his hate. If you read the whole thing and you understand how she died and how that all evolved, you'll find out why God is so angry about idolatry. Okay, let me write that word up, because we're just not getting into it. Spell that right?
Close enough.
Okay. Okay. Somebody tell me what idolatry is. We got graven images here.
Idolatry is believing in anything but God and Jesus Christ. That's basically it. You know, money can be idolatry. Your pride can be idolatry. And this is the thing that every time that anybody in the Bible started to become strong, famous, or powerful, with the exception of David, they turned to idolatry.
And how will this delusion happen?
Delusion?
Yeah.
we delude ourselves.
Right. So the
I
idolatry.
mean, not me, but you may.
Yeah. I think that's good. And I thank you for this because that fit right in perfectly. Okay. All right. So we see the Danites were into that. Let's read 1 Kings. Let's go on reading some more. 1 Kings, chapter 12, verse 28. And 30. Chapter 12, verses 28. And there it is. 1 Kings, chapter 12, verse 27, or 28, 29, and 30.
After seeking advice, the king made 2 golden calves. He said to the people, "It is too much for you to go up to Jerusalem. Here are your gods, O Israel, who brought you up from out of Egypt. One he set up in Bethel and the other in Dan. And this thing became a sin. The people went even as far as Dan to worship the one there."
Okay. All of these northern. Okay. Hosea. Hosea chapter 4, verses 17 through 19. Verse 17. Sure.
Ephraim is joined to idols, leave them alone. Even when their drinks are gone, they continue their prostitution. Their rulers clearly love shameful ways, or dearly love shameful ways. A whirlwind will sweep them away, and their sacrifices will bring them shame.
Okay. So,
Ben,
yes.
just a little side note. I don't want to get off track, but like Nelson said, and it's true. Whatever you worship, and in this day and time, I don't think we find people worshiping idols. But going back to that time, it's just hard for me to envision someone worshiping something that is man-made. I mean, these golden calves or whatever, they weren't born, they were made, through, I guess, a baking process or whatever. And this is a man-made thing that they're worshiping. It's just hard for me to accept how anyone could rationalize that. But
Did you say that you can't envision somebody worshiping an idol today?
And you got a lot of them. Hindus, especially.
There was one on the internet of our woman had looked like Jesus on the bottom of her iron.
So those are a little
You see the one on eBay, the grilled cheese that looked like it had the image of Mary.
You worship it?
Well, I don't want to, I would drive in, but there's thousands of them. The Catholic Church has hundreds in their own. They've created. I could have shown you a video. I had a couple of videos that showed that, but I felt it was harping too much just on the Catholic Church when idols are, as Nelson said, are everywhere. And it's not just man-made objects, but that is one form of idol worship, okay? And I also believe from the Ten Commandments, it's not only you'll make no graven image, okay? The other commandment is you'll have no God before me. Those two together tell us that there are a lot of idols in this world that we're all worshiping in one manner or another. So it is prevalent. The reason I wrote it up here is you asked, how has the country gotten into the state? And its government? Think why the government is having a problem.